Hello everyone and welcome to mining.com.au. I'm Oriel Morrison-Higgins. I'm joined today by Seamus Cornelius, Executive Chair of Danakali. Seamus, welcome. It's great to have you back with us.
Thanks, Oriel. It's great to be here and it's great to have something to talk about.
Well, that's something is fairly significant. I want to zero in on what you're doing in Western Australia, first of all, Seamus. You've essentially assembled a significant exploration portfolio across Western Australia. In fact, I think the number is, and correct me if I'm wrong, 1,433 square kilometres. Tell us more.
Well, yes, we've been working on this for some time, Oriel, and we have been quiet about it because of the system in Western Australia. It doesn't help us while we're assembling these opportunities, these pieces of ground, to tell everyone that that's what we're doing. Now that we've done it, we've assembled the ground and we've done the work that we can with the existing data sets and the other publicly available information, we think it's the right time now to disclose that this is what we have and this is what we think we're going to be looking for. That's why we're here right now.
It's significant size. I mean, you guys must have been working pretty hard.
Oh, we've been working on it for many months. I don't remember exactly when we started, but our geologists have been really focusing on this, not exclusively, because we still have work to do in Eritrea and we still have work to do in Saudi Arabia, which is what we've always talked about. But this has been the focus recently.
It's not just the size of the exploration portfolio and the potential, of course, that's in that. You've also actually picked up a fairly high-grade rock chip at the Jonas Project. So what is the significance of this particular result?
Well, in isolation, I don't think it's really significant in the sense of being something that we have to announce. But if you put it in the context, we had some people up there late last year. They picked up 6 rock chips from that tenement, and one of them happened to have that sample, 24.5 grams per ton of gold. So that is exciting. That's interesting. And at the very least, it says there's something going on here that we need to have a look at. So that's why we're excited about it, and that's why we think it's relevant.
And it's worth looking at. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't just find that anywhere. And as I said, it was one of 6. And it was a very quick trip. Literally drive up in the car, get on the ground to the areas where they could easily get to, grab those chips, put them in the bag, and go to the next one. That was what it was.
Now, this is across this portfolio is across multiple commodities, of course, Seamus. So you've got gold, copper, zinc, nickel, cobalt. How do you decide and prioritize, I suppose, where you're going to focus first?
Well, at this stage, we're going to have people on the ground on the 4 most northern projects. So that's the Chelios, the Turkish, the Orson, and the Jonas. And the Jonas happens to be the one where we had that rock chip. So we're basically still in the phase of working through the prioritization exercise. I think what will happen is that as we do further work on the ground, and we've pretty much reviewed all the data sets now, but the most interesting things will reveal themselves. I don't want to prejudge it by saying, oh, we're really interested in gold, because we really are interested in gold, but not to the exclusion of anything else. So they will present themselves in the way that opportunities do. The challenge for us is to do things in a methodical and thorough way so that we don't actually miss an opportunity and we maximize the chance for that ground to reveal something that's really interesting and brings the value for our shareholders. That's the challenge, but I'm confident we can manage it because we've managed it before.
So Seamus, what are the key milestones that investors should be watching out for from here on in, and not just in Western Australia, but across your geography?
Okay, so in Western Australia, the next key step will be that, as I said, our geologists will be up there in June. They'll spend a lot of time on those 4 northern projects, sort of ground truthing in a way what we think the data sets tell us should be there. So we'll have some information that I hope is, announceable and significant when those geologists come back and when they've managed to compile the information and get some rock chip samples, get the assay results. So that'll be the next significant thing on those projects. We're continuing to work in the background on the other West Australian projects that we haven't emphasized in this announcement, simply because there's a little bit of a focus on the north and then we'll come down further to the south. In our other geographies, I mean, obviously we always talk about Eritrea. We're doing everything we can to progress that application. We think it's really worthwhile and it's worth our time. So Right now, we're just engaging in a back and forth, ongoing conversation with the relevant authorities there to try and get that granted to us. It's not granted yet, but we're continuing to work, and I'll be going over there in June to have the face-to-face conversations. In Saudi Arabia, we've taken further steps, and we'll probably have an announcement in the next week or two about the formal establishment of our JV and the application for the ground that we like over there. I don't want to say where we've applied in Saudi Arabia because, again, it's a very competitive Wild West style market for ground. So until we get it, we don't really want to talk about it except to say that it is in Saudi.
Okay, great. Amazing. Well, it sounds like we've got a very busy timeline ahead, and I look forward to speaking to you again, hopefully as soon as next week, Seamus.
Yes, hopefully, if everything goes well, that'll be great.